You know that feeling, the blinking cursor on a blank page, the running shoes in the closet that feel like they're glued to the floor, that important phone call you know you need to make, but suddenly, reorganizing your sock drawer feels like the most urgent task in the world. It's the quiet, nagging guilt of procrastination. It's the gap between intention and action. We all know what we should be doing. We have goals, dreams, and deadlines. Yet, an invisible force seems to hold us back, keeping us stuck in a loop of avoidance, anxiety, and last-minute panic. I lived in that loop for years. My to-do lists were graveyards of good intentions. I thought the solution had to be complicated. I downloaded a dozen productivity apps. I designed elaborate color-coded schedules. I tried to use sheer, white-knuckled willpower to force myself to do the work. And every single time, I would fail. It felt like a fundamental character flaw, like I was just wired to be lazy. But then I stumbled upon a rule so simple, so counterintuitive, that I almost dismissed it. It didn't require complex software or a new personality. All it required was 2 minutes. This rule didn't just help me get a little more done. It fundamentally rewired my brain's approach to work and resistance. It's not an exaggeration to say it cured my procrastination. And today, I'm going to share it with you. My rock bottom with procrastination wasn't a single dramatic event. It was a slow burn of 1,000 tiny failures. The worst of it came when I was trying to launch a personal project I was deeply passionate about. It was a creative venture that required consistent writing. I had the idea, I had the passion, I had the time. But every single day, I would sit down at my computer, open the document, and nothing. My brain would immediately flood with resistance. This has to be perfect. What if no one likes it? I don't even know where to start. I'm not feeling inspired right now. The anxiety of not doing the work became more exhausting than the work itself. Days turned into weeks. The initial excitement was replaced by a familiar sense of dread and shame. I would try to bargain with myself. Okay, just write for 1 hour. But an hour felt like a marathon. It was too big, too intimidating. The starting line seemed miles away. So instead, I'd do research, which was just a fancy word for scrolling through social media. I'd clean my apartment until it was spotless. I would do anything and everything except the one thing that actually mattered. The project stalled. My confidence plummeted. I was so close to just giving up, to accepting that I was one of those people who had ideas but could never follow through. It was in that moment of desperation, while reading a book called Atomic Habits by James Clear, that I found the concept that would change everything. The 2-minute rule. The rule is deceptively simple. It states, when you start a new habit, it should take less than 2 minutes to do. That's it. That's the entire rule. It's not work for 2 minutes. It's the act of starting should take less than 2 minutes. Let me break that down. The idea isn't to only do 2 minutes of work. The idea is to make the starting point of any task so easy, so ridiculously small, that you can't possibly say no to it. You scale down your goal into its simplest 2-minute gateway. Read a book every day becomes read 1 page. Study for my exam becomes open my notes and review 1 flashcard. Go for a run becomes put on my running shoes and step outside. Clean the kitchen becomes put 1 dish in the dishwasher. The goal of the 2-minute rule is not to achieve the final outcome in those 2 minutes. The goal is to master the art of showing up. The point of putting on your running shoes isn't to get fit in that moment. The point is to become the type of person who doesn't miss workouts. The point of reading 1 page isn't to finish the book. It's to become a reader. It works because it shifts the focus from the intimidating performance-based goal to the simple, non-threatening act of starting. It's a trick. You're not trying to fool yourself into running a 5K. You're just making a deal with yourself to put your shoes on. What happens after that is a bonus. So why is this simple trick so profoundly effective? It works because it directly targets the root psychology of procrastination. First, it demolishes activation energy. In chemistry, activation energy is the minimum amount of energy needed to start a reaction. The same concept applies to human behavior. The reason we procrastinate on writing a 10-page report isn't because the writing itself is impossible. It's because the mental energy required to start it is enormous. The 2-minute rule lowers that activation energy to almost zero. How much energy does it take to open a document and write one sentence? Almost none. It's too easy to refuse. Second, it leverages physics in your daily life. Newton's first law of motion states that an object at rest stays at rest, and an object in motion stays in motion. Procrastination is the ultimate state of being at rest. The 2-minute rule is the tiny, effortless push that gets you into motion. And once you're in motion, it's far easier to stay in motion. Once you've read that one page, your brain is already engaged. The book is open, you're in the story. It's so much easier to think, okay, maybe just one more page, or I'll just finish this chapter. You've overcome the initial powerful force of inertia. Third, and this is the most powerful part, it builds an identity-based habit. Procrastination is often tied to a negative identity. I'm a procrastinator. I'm lazy. I'm not disciplined. Every time you successfully complete a 2-minute action, you cast a vote for a new identity. When you put on your guitar strap and play one chord, you are not just a person who wants to play guitar. In that moment, you are a guitarist. When you write one sentence, you are a writer. These small wins seem insignificant, but they are compounded daily. They slowly chip away at the negative identity and build a new one, based on the undeniable evidence of your actions. Finally, it hacks your brain's reward system. Completing a task, no matter how small, releases a bit of dopamine. It feels good. By making the task only 2 minutes, you are essentially guaranteeing yourself a small win. Your brain starts to associate this activity not with resistance and dread, but with success and a pleasant feeling. You are literally rewiring your neural pathways to make starting easier the next time. So, how do you apply this in practice? Let's get concrete. Think of something you've been putting off. I'll give you some examples for different areas of life. Let's start with health and fitness. Your goal might be to exercise 3 times a week. That can feel daunting. The 2-minute version is, put on your workout clothes. That's it. That's the habit. You don't have to go to the gym, you just have to put the clothes on. But what you'll find is that once the clothes are on, going to the gym seems like the next logical step. Or maybe you want to eat healthier. Your 2-minute rule could be, wash 1 apple and put it on your desk for later. How about learning a new skill? You want to learn to play the piano. The 2-minute rule, sit at the piano and play the C major scale once. Not for 30 minutes, just once. You want to learn a new language. The 2-minute rule, open your language app and complete 1 single exercise. Let's apply it to work and productivity. This is where it saved me. You have to write a huge, intimidating report. Your 2-minute rule is, open the document and write the title. Or, write 1 sentence that summarizes the main idea. You are not trying to write the report. You are just opening the door to it. Your email inbox is a disaster with hundreds of unread messages. The 2-minute rule, open your inbox and process 1 single email. Archive it, reply to it, or delete it. It even works for chores around the house. The thought of cleaning the whole apartment is paralyzing. The 2-minute rule, take out the trash, or wipe down 1 kitchen counter. The momentum from that one small action often carries you into the next one. This is how I started my project. My rule became, open the document and write 50 words. Not a chapter, not a page, just 50 words. Some days, that's all I wrote. But I did it. I cast my vote for being a writer. And most days, those 50 words would turn into 100, then 500, then 1,000. The wall of resistance crumbled because I wasn't trying to break it down. I was just opening a tiny door and walking through it. The beauty of this system is that it bypasses the debate. Your brain can't argue against it. It can't say it's too hard or you don't have enough time. Everyone has 2 minutes. So I want you to stop thinking about your massive, intimidating goals. They are the source of your procrastination. Instead, I want you to focus on the gateway. Find the 2-minute starting ritual, the action that precedes the action. Standardize it, and then make it so easy that you cannot fail. The journey to achieving your biggest goals does not start with a giant leap. It starts with a single, ridiculously small step. A step so small it's almost laughable. But that step, taken consistently, is more powerful than any burst of motivation you will ever have. It builds a bridge over the chasm of procrastination, a bridge made of tiny 2-minute bricks. So here is my challenge to you. Right now, think of one thing you have been avoiding. Just one. Now break it down. What is the 2-minute version of it? What is the one tiny action you can take that will open the door to getting it done? Don't just think about it. After this video ends, go and do it. Take those 2 minutes and take that first step. Prove to yourself that you can start. Because starting is everything. And once you master the art of starting, you will be unstoppable.